Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. I must admit, the weekend was made a whole lot more exciting as it got off to a great start on Saturday morning as UMBC got it going up there in Burlington, Vermont. We have the head coach of all things dogs as the Retrievers head down to Charlotte to shock the world against #1 Virginia. Ryan Odom joins us now from Catonsville, where it's all one big blur, is it not, Coach Odom?
No doubt. It's a happy campus, I'll tell you that. It's a happy team and a happy coach. It's an amazing feeling. It really is. So thankful to be the coach here and be able to be around these guys that we have on our team.
Well, tell me about that feeling, because you've been through this with your father so many times, and you know what that looks like. But you walked onto that campus interviewing for a job a couple years ago, and saw potential, saw that they were going to build this new building. Boy, the arrival of all of this, even maybe by your own schedules, I don't want to say premature, but it would have been a very aggressive timetable for you to think about what's happening this week for you.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I don't think anybody would have expected that it would have happened this quickly, and we'd be fortunate enough to make the NCAA tournament. But, the more I've coached these kids and been around them, the more, I'm not surprised, because they are high-character kids. They have good talent. They're all smart guys, they're high academic kids. So that's a recipe for success, when you have that put together there, and then you add in their grit and determination and competitiveness to win. Very, very special.
Give me the lowdown on the Lyle situation, because we've heard. So I want to hear it from you about having a special kid who can make that kind of a shot. And by the way, my wife was up screaming when it was 6 and 5 and 4. I don't know what you were thinking, and maybe
the only one.
You knew the play all along. I'm sure, just the way you drew it up in the end. But having a special kid and a special story that goes even above your pay grade, right to the guy that runs the place, to say that this kid wanted to be on this campus, wanted to have this moment, and to see him deliver in that moment, not just for you, but for the president of the university straight on down.
Yeah, I mean, that was totally his moment. And in hindsight, looking back on it, I mean, it was totally his moment. And I'm so happy for him, and his moment has become our moment. And it's really, really neat.
For him in that play and drawing it up and what you wanted to see happen, walk me through the last possession of the game as you saw it, because in your mind's eye, it's a perfect scenario, right? Like you couldn't dream it up. If I would have said to you, 15 seconds, you got the ball, it's a tie game, I think you would have taken that 100 out of 100 up in Vermont, right?
Yeah, no question. I mean, first off, some credit needs to be given to the other guys on defense. I mean, Max Curran and Jordan Grant, I think they both got a piece of that ball. I know Max got a little bit more maybe than Jordan, but Jordan got some of it too. His defense on Bell Haynes, the last 8 minutes of the game was tremendous. I mean, that was a huge factor in the game. And Max's block, and then Joe picks it up, and as soon as we get the ball back, I realize, I look over the clock and, the shot clock is off. So obviously my first thought is, all right, there's not a chance that I'm ever calling timeout. Like, we are getting ready to shoot the last shot, the very last shot to win the game. I mean, that's what you want. And, I'd called one play and Jarris was like, nope, no, let's don't do that one. And then I see KJ on the other side going, yep, nope, let's don't do that one. He's got the ball. Let's just keep it. I said, all right, let's roll with it. Let's get everybody in position. And thankfully, Jarris made the shot. But, that it's a shot that he practices, to be honest, every single day. He gets out there before practice and, does a little, 1 or 2 dribble moves, pull up 3, each and every day. And it came down to that, and he delivered.
We have head coach Ryan Odom of all things UMBC, and the dogs are barking. They're howling. They'll be howling into the night down in Charlotte on Friday night against the number one Hoos. And, I don't want to I'll get to the Virginia thing in a minute, but I want to talk more about your conference and more about a team like Vermont who doesn't get the dance, and that's part of the deal. But more than that, when you sign up to take this gig at UMBC, they say, well, there's not a conference tournament at Place X or Gym Y. We're going to have the home court advantage. You get to play a couple of cool games and experience that in your new building. But more than that, go up to that Vermont, that, the crazy place that is, and I don't know how much time you had ever spent up there, but for 23 times it doesn't go well for the university. And, to turn out the lights in a building like that, that's what March Madness is about, much more so than a lot of the other conference finals I saw this weekend where shots are being made and 80% of the seats are empty in a gym that's too big,
Yeah, I mean, it's really special. It really is. I mean, especially for Vermont to have, the game on their court. I know UMBC's had it before, back in '08. I mean, it's just electric. I mean, it really is. And, from a travel perspective, it's not that easy, to maneuver around for fans. And, it's a much better atmosphere. Even the bigger conferences aren't, as well attended until the finals. And, so I do like the way that we do it. It rewards the team that's been the most consistent and been the best all year, gives them the best chance, with home court advantage. We certainly always want our best team, moving on into, March Madness. And, if you're able to beat one of those teams, the regular season champion on their court, then you deserve to go.
Well, and there was also like a whole travel thing with you getting there too, that you probably even makes the ties that bind even better with your team when you've been traveled around like this over the last 4.5 months, right?
Yeah, no question. Our travel, we try not to travel as much in the non-conference, although this year we went out to SMU and Arizona. But, our conference is a little bit spread out, but, the flights are not bad. It's not terrible. So we certainly enjoy going to each of the different conference opponents.
So you mentioned going out to SMU and out to Arizona in the beginning, and obviously Arizona, one of the top teams, cleans your clock, and this happens for money games a lot. We do Coppin State, and they go on a whole tour in November every year to play these big teams, and then you say, well, how has that helped you? Well, you're going to go see the number one team in the country on Friday night. And I guess going back to that weekend in November 10, 11, 12, where you go out and hope to put yourself in a better position on Friday night to make them not cut away from your game and make it a 5-point game with 10 minutes left to go, and finding some way over the next 4 or 5 days to will that into your players, right?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why you play those games early in the season. If you're lucky enough, like we are right now, to make the NCAA tournament, you're going to face, one of the top 8 teams in the country usually. And you don't want that day to be the first time that you've seen that type of talent, that type of coaching, that type of, athleticism. And, our guys certainly tested themselves. I would add Maryland into that. We played Maryland in December as well, before they hit kind of the injury bug there. And, they're an excellent team, at that point. And so that was good. It was good for us to test ourselves against those higher level opponents and, realize that we can play with them. And we were playing Arizona. It was 58-55, and they had to call timeout in the second half. So our guys, will not be afraid.
When you talk about the Maryland game, which I had a chance to see, the Towson game, Rob Kennedy and I talk about it all the time about, where Towson was and how they were feeling about themselves at that time of the year, and where your program and sort of ships passing in the night were 3.5 months, removed from all of that. What's gotten better about your team that has made this run possible where you're losing, one game a month here the last month or two?
I think our execution down the stretch, I think if you remember that game, we took the lead in the game, probably with about 12 minutes to go, and then it kind of fell apart from there. We had several of those games early in the season. Part of that, was due to the fact that we were playing a really good Towson team. The other part was we had guys that were, in and out of the lineup, at that point. We'd had guys, that were injured, and then, weren't in the lineup, then they came back. You know, our team was going through some growing pains early in the season. You know, Jarris missed 2 games. Jordan missed 3 games. You know, Max Curran missed several games. Arkell missed several games. You know, KJ missed the first 3 games. So, I mean, we were a little bit out of sorts. And we knew if we could get everybody healthy and get everybody back together and we had, you know, more options there, that we'd have a chance to win down the stretch. But to answer your question, you know, very simply, our defense has gotten much better. And our execution on offense down the stretch has gotten much better, which is how you win games. And thankfully, the guys have been able to do that.
You know, I saw that KJ Mara's weight at 133 or 134, lightest player in the tournament. And I'm thinking to myself, I've been down on the floor, and he doesn't feel that small when I'm in the house. But on TV, he felt a lot smaller than everyone. And I think having that kind of a player with your kind of a team and that kind of an environment in a place where they already are predisposed to not like Virginia, probably, you know, you could get the crowd on your back. And I know nobody's brought this up with you before, but the 16's never beaten a 1, Coach. This is your opportunity to shock the world. I mean, this is a wonderful thing and a chance that you have here over the next 4 days to get these guys ready, because I think the crowd would be at your back on Friday night.
Yeah, KJ's father's been saying, why not us all year? So why not us?
Well, enjoy the ride. I know it's been a lot of fun. It looked like a lot of fun over there on Sunday. Everybody was packed in, and the campus is all whirled up on this thing, getting down to Charlotte on Friday night. I will bid you adieu. Wish you great luck, and say it's been a lot of fun watching the team this year and supporting you guys. We'll certainly be supporting you on Friday night.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
You got it.
Take
Head
care.
coach Ryan Odom of UMBC, and the Dogs are barking all the way down to Charlotte on Friday night, taking on the #1 Hoos. We wish them all good vibes and good mojo, and you know, great story to hear that Jarris Lyles makes that shot every day in practice, because it looked like he had done it before. I will say that. Of course, that was after it went in on Saturday. So congratulations to everybody over there at UMBC, and Steve Levy and Mark D'Arcangelo and Pete Coringi and all of the UMBC staff, Whitney, everybody I know over there. It's been so good to us over the years, and we love the new building. We're looking forward to it. We're bringing home an America East champion to the new building. How about that? Kick it off next year. It'll be fun. You can find me out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. All of our new programming on Thursday mornings and beyond, all of our charity and community programming brought to you by our friends at Howard Bank, a relentless commitment to be the best at everything they do. Branches throughout Baltimore and Maryland, a unique hands-on approach to banking. See how they're doing at howardbank.com, or stop in and see one of their locations and walk in and check out one of the local branches opening in your community. Also brought to you by Cole Roofing. You had those March winds blowing in. Make sure you're checking out your roof. You never know. If you got a commercial roof space, there's only one company to think of, and that's Cole Roofing. They've been doing it 99 years. I almost want to say 100, but that'd be lying. It's only been 99. Next year, I'll be able to say it's 100. Also brought to you by our friends at Pizza John's, where the pizza's so tasty, they come from everywhere to Essex to get it. Get the pepperoni on it. If you want to do it Luke style, get the meat sauce. I'm good with the regular sauce. I go with the sausage, the pepperoni, the mushroom, and the green pepper, of course. Sometimes I get a cheesesteak with provolone on it, but don't hold me to that. I love the French fries, too. Pizza John's, back Riverneck Road, 50 years. Find out why everybody comes to Essex for Pizza John's Pizza. Simple as that. If you've never been, you need to get to Essex and do it. You'll find out why I brag about it. Simple as that. Why I'm holding up the cup. Last but never least, breaking news happens first on the WNST Tech Service. That is all brought to you by Coons Florida Security Boulevard. Dennis Koulatsos will be here on Thursday from 3 until 5, getting you ready for head coach Ryan Odom's UMBC Retrievers on Friday night and the play down in Charlotte against the Hoos. Dennis is selling cars over Coons Ford. He's also sponsoring our WNST Tech Service for any breaking news, including the breaking news that they were the 16 seed taking on Virginia, which you got on Sunday night on the WNST Tech Service. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.